Let's move location. Last try. Last try. Let's see. Last try. Sorry folks, bear with me. Horrendous signal implications over here. So keep dropping off. Apologies. Just try and keep up with me. If I drop off, I'll try and get back on. This will probably be the last try. It's so frustrating. So where was I? Saying numbers, I think, about who we've got in. So sorry for keeping on dropping off. Signal issues are playing havoc. Thank you for the likes. If you are watching, drop a like on the stream. Thank you for bearing with me. I know it's frustrating, but I'll try and give you a few more details. And yeah, just if I drop off, I'll jump back on when I get back to the farm and try and answer your questions, etc. But hopefully that'll be the last time. But it's showing 2 bars, so I don't know why we keep dropping off. But yeah, we'll give it another shot. So plenty of our usual watchers who's taken down the details. So that's where I was. Frankie and Max, our 2 boar goats, our regular boar goats. Billies, going in with this group here. 60 females, roughly. Do you know what? I'm speaking at the camera. I could be showing you. Let's see where I've moved position to try and get a better signal. There is Frankie up there. Is on the warpath. Here he comes. There's a female running about. There he is. You can notice him with his big curved long horns. Here he comes sniffing his way through the crowd. And he is excited. Big day for him. Big day. So he's got a lot of work to do. He doesn't often get on. He's got the lip up in the air again, like. He doesn't often get on well with Max, but because there's such an amount in here, because there is 60, you're better to pair that off, try and half off the responsibility with another male. So the pen's big enough, it's long enough for them both to, for both males to stay out each other's way, and both to do their job. If Frankie does get a wee bit mean to Max has a habit of jumping out, but that was last year, so we're hoping that they're a bit more mature now, because Max was only young last year. They know the score, and hopefully they'll have all these served in a couple of weeks. It's their cycles, so their breeding cycles normally, they come into season every 2 weeks. So you really want them in for about 4 weeks, and that gives them 2 cycles to come through and make sure everyone's had a cycle, everyone's been in season and had the chance to get pregnant. And if they have, they'll let off their scent. Frankie or Max will pick up on that, and they will go to work. And they will do what they're kept all year to do. So they've got a bit of responsibility resting on their shoulders. And then this year, come January, in January this year, I think it was the end of January, beginning of February, we were on live, if some of you caught it, and we scanned all our boar goats, and it was the first year that we've done that. We'll be doing that again next year coming, 2022. End of January, beginning of February 2022, we'll be scanning them. That tells you a rough timeline of how far along they are in the pregnancy, how many is in there, and it gives you an idea of numbers of how many kids to expect, so that you can prepare for that. And at that point, when you know you've got triplets, or if you've got twins, or if you've got singles, here he comes. He's come wandering up the pen. He's making his way up. If you've got triplets, singles, or twins, they get penned off accordingly, and they get fed accordingly. So triplets get extra feeding, twins get a little less, and singles normally are only on hay. So by feeding, I mean hard feeding, as in like supplementary. We call it cake, but it's just regular animal feed. So they get some sheep cake, and that builds them up, because they've got such a burden on them, growing 2 or 3 kids. They need just that little extra nutrients, so that they don't get run down, and so that they can grow some healthy babies. The singles you don't feed extra, because it ends up if you feed them too much, the kid grows too big. Because there's only one, all the nutrients are going to that. It grows ginormous and it gives birth. When they're giving birth, it ends up being a problem because the kid's too big. That's what I'm trying to say, trying to spit it out. So that is why they only get hay. Everyone else gets a little bit extra sheep cake, and they'll be getting their lick in as well, which is a kind of vitamin lick that goes in at this time of year. It just helps build them up, gives them a good chance, improves their chance of getting pregnant, gives them plenty of energy to deal with the cold weather, and it's just really like a vitamin tablet that we get as well, and they love it. They love the taste of it. It's like a big sweetie that they get, really. So I have been waffling on. Hopefully I'm making sense, trying to get all the information out. So for all of you that are keeping dates, keeping numbers, 60 for Max and Frankie, 17 for Jeff, and they will be born on the 1st of April. They will be starting kidding on the 1st of April, and it'll last for between 4 and 6 weeks because the males stay in for quite a while with us, and that will be our lambing season. So hello to everyone in the comments. Let's see if there is. Luckily I've not dropped off yet, so oh sorry, that was my finger. Hopefully that is the signal issue sorted. How many has Jeff got in with him? Jeff's got 17, which is enough for Jeff, really. I think he had a few empties in there with him last year, so we're just kind of going canny with how many to give him. We don't want to give him too much of a job, in case he's not quite up to it. Alison saying hi from Liverpool. Hi Alison. Anne says Aquio always come back. That's nice to know, Anne. It's nice to know we've got regular viewers. And thank you for all the stars coming in as well. It's much appreciated. It is a big day. It is a big day. We've been talking about putting the males in or putting the billy goats in for a few days now, or a few weeks now, and what date to get it right, because we circulate around the Easter holidays because of the farm park. We want to have it right, so we want to really have them kidding on or a couple of days before the kids get off, and then everyone has a good chance of seeing a lambing demonstration, which is performed by yours truly. It's a lot of pressure. There's sometimes a lot of people watching, and you have to make sure you're doing a good job of it. Bonnie's saying we'll watch the replay. Bonnie must be catching up on the other videos once they're dropped off, but I've just kind of tried to do a quick recap for everyone that was watching. So it's 5 months gestation for goats. Yes, it kind of does vary, as what I've been finding out this morning. Normally, I've done a wee bit more extra research into it today. Normal sized breeds, which are your Boer goats, Anglo-Nubians, Toggenburgs, Saanen, etc., which are all larger breeds of goats, are 150 days gestation period, and miniature breeds, which are pygmy, which we have plenty of, the pygmy goats are 145 days. So the pygmy goat male isn't due to go in. We'll probably put him in a couple of days' time, and I'm sure you've seen the male. I think Farmer Pete was on this morning. You've seen him wandering about, and to be honest, he's just running amok just now. He's jumping all over the pens. He can smell the females, so it's sending him a bit mad. And sharing the Twitch TV/Dulscon. Thank you, Anne. That is for our donkey cam, so you can watch Pumpkin, our new baby donkey, and Rio. You can watch them live, and you can keep an eye on Eeyore, who is expected to foal any time, really. I'm not doing predictions because I'm not very good at that, but she is due. And you can actually see the camera's pretty good, and you can see the baby actually stretching out in her belly. So it shows you how big it might be. So fingers crossed for another healthy foal. Pumpkin has been a roaring success. I'm sure you've all seen the views. I think it's the most famous donkey in the world at the minute. We're approaching on 3 million views on the live foaling video, which is amazing. Blew all our expectations out of the water. All we're trying to do is kind of give everyone a wee taste of farming life and show you kind of behind the scenes of teach you about nature, really, and how things work. And it's great to see so many nice comments and so many people watching as well. So we have 2 hay hecks in this pen. in Frankie's pen, because that'll split Max and Frankie up if there's 2 hay hecks, because the last thing you want is them both trying to feed at the same time and getting into a wee squabble over that. And then Jeff has his hay heck right at the end. You'll tend to find as well, Max and Frankie are looking a bit heavier just now, so they've been built up in preparation for going in with the females. But because they're extremely busy and there's a lot of exercise happening, without going into too many details, they will lose quite a bit of weight over the next few weeks. They're not even really concentrating on eating, to be honest. They've only got one thing on their mind, so they will become a little run down, but that's expected. And then they'll build themselves back up pretty quickly once everything's served. Once something's served and it's pregnant, his attention just changes onto someone else. So as time goes on, he can start kind of getting back to normal and get his head in the right space, because it is not in the right space at the minute. It is for the job we want him to, but for looking after himself, he could maybe do to chill out a wee bit, but there's not much chance of that. So let me head through some of these comments. Hello from California, hello from Rhondda Valleys. Plenty of American watchers, plenty of UK watchers, obviously. On our Facebook, likes have been jumping up as well, which is great to see. It lets us reach more people on our live feed. And we currently have, as a little statistic for everyone's interest, about 88% of people who are like the Dulscone Farm Fund page are from the UK, and I think it's up to about 4% are from the US. 2% are from Australia, I think. So there's a wee bit of background information on where everyone's from. So it's nice that, let me know where you're from if you're watching. There's one from Arkansas, Teresa from Arkansas, Jean's in Fife. So Jean's just up the road. Aileen Blaylock's not from far away. I recognise Aileen's name. We can put a marker under the males, Aileen, but it's not really necessary, to be honest. It's when they're getting scanned, we'll know how far away they are, and by previous behaviours, they're all within 4 weeks. So it's not really telling you too much that you don't already know. And it creates a huge mess as well. And also trying to work with a male, it's not like trying to work with a top sheep, or a male sheep. I mean, they are absolutely stinking, and you cannot get the smell off you. Farmer Pete was saying this morning in his video, they've got a nice habit of, when they're coming into season, they like to pee all over their legs and their beard, or all over their mouth, and it's absolutely stinking. So they try and get their scent everywhere. But it is important. The scent is important